Okay, we're going to be talking about the Odom family tree. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Where does the Odom come from?
The Odom is my grandmother's father's name.
Okay.
Because my grandmother was the child of a slave girl. Her mother was a slave, which was Mr. Odom farm that she lived on his plantation. But old man Odom was not her father, my grandmother's father. His son was her father, was my grandmother's father, his father.
Oh, okay.
And that's that, cause we used to see my grandfather, Odom, cause when we were kids, he used to come when we was in New Orleans, and then when we moved out from New Orleans for a while, he used to come out there and be bringing groceries on his back to my grandmother's for all of her children. See, that's what he used to do. But he was the son of the older man, older. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
his father owned the plantation,
It owned
but
the
he
slaves.
is the one that got my grandmother by the slave girl. He was the older man's son.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Let me slide this just a little bit. Yeah, because this has to stay.
Yeah.
flat.
All right. So now we go.
There you go.
All right. Now this is now I don't know when he was born. Margaret Odom married James Brown Sr. Total 15 children. She married him, but she only had 3 children for him.
Okay, question.
Okay, 11 children. Let's see, 11, 3 children.
Chris,
It was two-
excuse me. She wanted to ask you a question when you said
Oh.
3 children.
About Margaret. Did Margaret have any sisters and brothers?
That I don't know, cause see, the slave girl. Well, see, when her mother gave birth to her, it wasn't considered as sisters and brothers. You was only a slave, and you was there to supply anything that the white man needed or done. You understand? So now, who was her sisters and brothers? I do not know, because they would breed them like,
Like cattle.
there you go, like dogs, well, you know, stuff like that.
Wow.
And see, so that's the reason why my grandmother's father was old man Odom's son,
Right.
because he didn't marry her. He just went and got her from her mother's place where her mother was, and brought her to where he wanted to have sex with her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, that's the way they did it.
Well,
They breeded you,
right.
not marry you. They breeded.
Wow.
Like all the other things they was breeding.
Wow.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
So, but the son, he cared a lot about my grandmother, and she knew that she was his child. And that's the reason why when old man Brown died, my grandmother met my grandfather, which was Ralph Robertson.
Okay.
Then she had 11 kids for him.
Okay.
I think 11. Yeah. Well, I don't know how. She had 15, was 11 or 12, but she had three for. Oh, my grandmother had one child in there that she had, but it was born dead. That's it. They didn't count that one.
So can you name all the children of Margaret?
What from my on my grandmother's side?
Yeah.
Well, just about, I think. Well, AC was the oldest boy after the 3, after me and his father. AC was the oldest boy. And I'm gonna start like, then
Don't worry about that.
Okay, AC, then Bertha, Effie, and then Effie, and then there was Effie, and then Sue, and then Ralph, and Ida, Eddie, and Bessie.
Okay.
How many is that?
That's 8.
That's 8. Well, okay. Now that's the one she had to live to get grown. She had 11 to live to get grown.
Okay.
The others was died in birth. The other kids
Okay.
so they didn't. The only one that was born without was died at birth, but she was sure long enough to get her name, and her name was Florence.
Florence.
See, but that nobody knew about. Just she was just born, and then a few days, a week, I don't know how long she lived, but not too long, and then she died.
She passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would have made 9. But the rest of them they was born like you have a baby, you pregnant, you have a baby, but it's born dead.
Yeah.
See,
Stillborn.
they didn't count them kind of babies back then.
Right.
They only count the one that was living.
Lived for a little while.
Yeah, with Florence, she lived for I think maybe for weeks or something, but I don't know how long she lived. But she was lived long enough to get her name because they named them time they was born, a little after they was born.
Okay.
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 All right. Now who is this?
It went forward. Wait a minute. It went forward, and it shouldn't.
This is Cleveland.
That's Mark. That's Mary.
That's Aunt Mary. Okay.
Where was she born? Is that correct?
Who?
Mary. Was you said she
18.
did?
Now, that's another thing. I don't know when Aunt Mary was born.
Okay.
My mother she didn't talk about Aunt Mary too much because Aunt Mary,
Was the oldest child?
she was the oldest one. She was older than all of them.
Okay.
Because my Uncle Jake was oldest. Then Aunt Mary, then her father.
Meaning's father.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Thelma.
I'd have to go out to the grave site where Aunt Mary's born and have when she was born and when she died.
Mm-hmm. But she didn't die in 41.
No.
Okay.
She didn't die in 40 because I was born and I knew her, coming up.
Who say she died in 40?
Oh, that's what's on. That's the information I had gotten.
You died when?
They said 1941.
41.
She knows it's wrong. I told
Yeah,
her.
she told me.
Ooh, that's way wrong.
Yeah, I know.
I think she
I gotta fix it.
in the 60s.
Nate was born, right?
What?
When Mary died. Yeah.
My grandmother?
Yeah, she was already
She
in.
died in 1986.
Yeah, okay, so I put it to 86.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, because, yeah,
You know
yeah.
that from her obituary.
Yeah, she died in, yeah, because then Mary, because even down I live with Aunt Mary.
What was she like?
You don't want to know. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to
Okay, do you remember what Margaret was like?
you want to know what they was like?
Yeah, their personality.
Well, now, who's Margaret?
Margaret.
Her mother.
Who, my grandmother?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was my grandmother's baby.
What did she look like and what's she like?
She looked like she was white.
Oh, okay.
That's her up there.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right up there on that big picture in the middle. She looked like she was, but she looked a lot that's what she looked like when my mother and them got old enough to have her picture taken.
Mhm.
But when she was younger, she looked just like any other mixed, real mixed. Yeah.
What's your best memory of her?
Huh?
What's your best memory of her?
The best remember of her is when I was 5 years old, and we used to have a candy they called winding balls. There was a little round ball, hard ball. It was we call them winding ball. It was a round ball like a sucker, but it didn't have a
No stick.
stick. It's just a ball of candy. And she was real sick, and she and I we was living in New Orleans after being moved from where she was, because my mother was living in New Orleans. We was always living in New Orleans, and I swallowed one.
Oh.
And my grandmother got up out of bed, grabbed me by my heels, and shook me and hit me in my back till I spit that winding ball out.
Yeah.
And then she got back in bed, and then when I knowed anything, she was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that's what I remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's the memory I remember. I was 5. Because she died when I was 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Saved your life before she passed.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Now we go on.
Okay. Now, the rest of that
Now,
has to do
Aunt
with
Mary. Aunt Mary, the reason why I don't know too much about Aunt Mary, because Aunt Mary was color struck. If you was real fair and light, she cared a lot about you in her family. But if you were dark and with kinky hair, we used to call it kinky hair, not nappy hair, kinky hair. And she didn't want to have nothing to do with you. And she didn't have nothing to do with it. And I was a lot lighter than I am now. But we didn't have, but she didn't have anything to do with us. She didn't want to have nothing to do with us.
Okay.
Because she, at the time when I was coming along with Aunt Mary, she had Lillian. And that Lillian looked like Lillian was real much fairer than when she got all you got when she was young. She looked like a fatty. You know, real light.
Like
Because
Aunt
Uncle
Mary.
Jake was more white than he was black. I think his mom, I don't know nothing about his parents, but I know his family was more, the women's and the men's was both real fair. And so they said, I don't know nothing about them, but I know Uncle Jake. And, but he wasn't like Aunt Mary. But she was the one that was always didn't want to be bothered with us. Well, she wasn't bothered with us when we was kids.
Okay.
So that took care of that. So I don't know too much about.
Okay, so tell
And
me.
then when she got out here, well, then that's when she really pulled all of you guys away from us. Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was living with them, was living with her father, and was supposed to be taking care of them, but she wasn't too hot on them either.
Because that
We was dark.
But she was here from Louisiana to take care of them, but she sure wasn't too hot on them.
Oh,
Because they was a little darker than I was.
So, everybody was from Louisiana, or did they come like from Scotland or anywhere else like that? Do you know?
Well, all our ancestors come from France.
France.
We were French. We dealt with French. That's what was in New Orleans, was Frenchmen. Mostly all Frenchmen in Louisiana. That's the reason why we don't have counties and we have parish
Oh,
in Louisiana. Because every different colony is a parish, not a county. Like Los Angeles County,
Oh, okay.
Diane, I mean, all the other counties around here.
Okay.
but they carry
Yeah,
this.
it's not no counties in Louisiana. It's all
Wow.
parish.
Right, right. I think I saw that too.
And we lived in Temple Parish.
Temple Hall Parish.
Right.
Okay, so in your history, there's white, there's black, which is African, there's French. And all of those make what they call Creole?
There you go. We
Okay.
mix with Creole, yeah.
All that together makes
The
Creole.
Africa and Frenchman. The Africa was speaking a different language. French was speaking a different language. So then the black learned to do a broken language, which they call Creole.
Yeah, my dad used to speak that.
They did. So he's Creole too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's Creole.
Yeah. Well, you should know all about Louisiana then.
He used to share all that stuff with me.
No, he didn't too.
The older people had a tendency to keep everything to themselves, and they didn't share a lot.
Well, maybe so, but my mom didn't.
Okay.
See, because everything I have is gotta come from my mom. Because she is the one that used to try to keep the family together and go around checking on everybody. Because I know a lot of time we didn't have much money, and she'd be saving up a little nickels and dimes so she could go back to Louisiana to check on her sisters and brothers.
So
So,
your mother is Aunt Ida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ain't on this your mom?
But see, my mom Mary got along with my mom real good because my mom looked like she was white when she was young.
Yeah.
And she had blonde hair. My mom was, and they used to call her Cottonhead. Because her hair was real blonde.
Yeah.
And what she used to do when she was young and she met my dad, because she used to dye her hair with coffee.
Coffee?
I didn't know you could dye your hair with coffee.
Well, and she used to put it on there to make it pretty darker. So she finally got it to be darker. But I think it got darker when she got older. But anyway, that's what she said, the coffee turned it dark. But I don't think, I think it's just that. I did say, okay, Mom.
Okay, good.
And she loved her brother. Because he was
Yeah.
light skinned. My daddy, he was light, pretty.
And what's
Yeah.
your daddy name?
Tillman Brown.
Tillman Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he,
Oh.
now you talking about some good looking men. My mother had good looking brothers.
Sure did.
And I mean,
They were fine.
And they were fine from foot to head, bottom. They were really fine men. And them women, they didn't have to work. That ain't.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
That's
go.
fine.
Okay.
Because she's not moving, so that's fine.
Okay.
Them men didn't have to work. Because they had women to take care of them, and them women, nobody messed with them men.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then my Uncle Tillman had it still going on when I got to California. But he would change from being a sweet daddy to a father then, because he had men in all of them and had their mama, and so he changed. But when he was young,
He was a piece of mess.
they were sweet daddies. And he was good looking. Everything about him was good. His body, his everything, his hair and everything.
Like you say, all them brothers.
Uh,
They was fine.
Yeah.
All the brothers.
yeah. And his son was just coming along to be just as fine as he was, but he died when he was, 18?
18. He drowned
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
when he went to bury Uncle James.
Okay.
Went to bury one of his brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got killed, and he got drowned in time he got there.
Wow.
Okay. What else? Well,
I don't know. Or whatever else you want to tell at this point. I didn't write down any questions, so y'all have.
yeah, they'll help you remember.
I just want you
How
to
many
tell
brothers did you
everything that you want
One.
One.
all
My-
them
my
to
neighbor
know.
had
All your
another
family
Oh
to know.
well.
Oh,
Oh, you brought them so they'll be able to talk about it. Yeah, okay.
And then
That's good.
also, whatever you want the rest of your nieces, nephews, cousins, whatever you want them to know about the family.
Well, I mean, the only thing that is what I'm telling you, and they will realize it and know what's going on, and so if they want to know anything, what I'm trying to say, they should, if they want to know anything, the young generation want to know anything, they would be able to tell them some. They may not remember everything, but they will remember some things, which is the important part of it, to tell them.
Because it's important to pass your family history along.
Yeah, yeah. But see, we got so many youngsters that I don't know, and you know, and they got so many little ones now too. That's that you know that
Don't know us, and we don't know them.
Right. Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah.
So you so that's about the only thing I can say is that let's see now. They know just about everything I know now. They know who's the grandmother, and they know who's the great grandmother, and they know who was the grandfather, and everything, and they know the uncles and aunts, but they all have deceased.
Yeah.
And they have no kids.
And all those names that I give you, they all are deceased.
Right.
You know, they're not living anymore. And that's reason why when Aunt Mary was living, we used to try to get her that I would have liked to have, you know, talk to her, she talked to me, or, well, actually, she shouldn't have talked to me so much. She should have talked to Lillian and Cleveland. See, they were the next. Cleveland was older than Lillian and I.
Right.
He should have known all about it. And all he didn't know, then Lillian and I should have gotten it, which my mother made sure I got it, but my Mary didn't make sure Lillian got it.
Right.
See, and Lillian is the one that had the children, which each one of her children should know something about the history of their life
Right.
and their grandmothers and their mother's life and who they are and where they exist from, you know.
Right.
So that makes a difference. But see, nobody wasn't interested in it but my mom. Even down, none of the sisters and brothers that I called ever talked about it. Well, in a way, maybe they didn't want nobody to know how they got it, what happened in their life. So I don't know.
Now, out
But I
of
know-
all them girls, only 2 had children. Aunt
See,
Mary
yeah.
and Aunt Ida. The rest of the girls didn't have no children.
Yeah, see, my mother had 2. My mother, like all, it was, let's see, I'm counting girls, and I tell you, there was,
I think it's
okay, well, there's 2 girls had Aunt Mary and Mama. Yeah, it was all, only 2 girls. It was Aunt Mary and Aunt Berthe and Effie and Aunt Sue and Ida and Bessie. There was 6 girls in the family that lived to get grown. Only 2 girls had children. That was Aunt Mary had 2, which was Cleveland and Lillian.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Okay.
Then my mother had 2 to live. She had 3, but she had 2 to live. They don't count the dead ones.
Right.
and that was myself and Helen.
And Helen, yeah.
And that was the end of the grandchildren.
Wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So then when we come along, I had one miscarriage. Helen had one miscarriage. That was the end of the grandkids for my mom. Then when my uncle and them come along, when Minnie and them come along, Minnie had one. My uncle had, her father, my Uncle Tillman, had, five. And three of them was girls. So they girls, they got one. Minnie had one. Mary Ann had two. And Thelma had two. That's the end of that, of them, with kids. So, but now, since all of them is gone, even the boys and the girls, we had one uncle. Let's see, we had two uncles.
Was that Uncle AC?
Yeah, two uncles, my Uncle Son and my Uncle AC, out of the boys, all the boys that she had. And she had 11 kids to get, that mean her had. She had 6 girls to have, 6 girls that lived and 5 boys. But my Uncle AC and my Uncle Tillman was the only boys that had kids.
What about what was it? Uncle James, the one that his son died. He had the Morris kids. He had 6, 7.
Uncle Jane had some?
No, when Tillman died, his son helped us to drive back to California. Who was that? I know
Uncle
AC, Uncle James, Uncle.
Wait a minute.
Now, who was the light-skinned one that had all the kids?
That was Uncle Son.
Okay, he had how many kids?
That's what I was finna tell her.
Oh.
But as of we had Uncle Jane.
Had one was that Thelmer's?
That
dad?
was Thelma.
Okay, he had one.
And Uncle AC
Yeah.
had one.
Okay, Uncle James had one. Okay, who was the other one that had all the kids?
Then late years.
Yeah.
Real late years. When a lot of them was mostly gone. My Uncle Son.
Okay.
He found. He was he got remarried to a little girl in Hammond, and none of the rest of the boys had any kids. And Uncle Jane had Uncle Jane had Uncle Tillman had 5. Was it 5 of you guys? 4.
It was 5 of us.
5 of you.
Cause Georgie, Tillman, me, Mary Ann, and Thelma.
Yeah, but when I was coming along, it was Georgie.
Georgie.
Georgie, and me, Georgia and me and Thelma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 of them. That was the grandkids in Cleveland. Yeah, 4. That was it, and it was Lillian, myself, and Helen. Wait, let's get it right now. I started at the top. There was Cleveland, Georgie, me, Thelma,
And Helen.
Huh?
Helen.
And Helen.
That was
5.
5 of the grandchildren.
That was all the grandchildren out of all of those children.
Wow.
And then when my Uncle Tillman married her mother, then that's when he had. Then that's when they all come along.
So Tillman had 4 children.
He had 5. He was married before.
Okay.
In New Orleans.
Yeah, well, I had counted her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she passed so white and she didn't want to have nothing to do with us.
She was definitely like Aunt Mary. She could have been a good. Aunt Mary loved her. She loved her. She did. That's all she used to talk about was her brother, her brother's daughter. Yeah. Uncle Young, they danced.
Kilmer's daughter, Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia Maid. Hey, Aunt Mary talked about her, but she didn't mention us. Nope, she didn't mention us. But now, that didn't bother us though.
Right.
Because that's the way it was.
I remember that when Nathaniel was born, Lily's son, Kathy took, Nathaniel was about a couple of weeks old, and or a couple of days old, she took Nathaniel in to see Mary, and I was still in the back house. And when she brought him back, I said, what did she say? She said, well, she didn't say anything because she was bedridden, but she looked at him and they helped her hold him, and they said all she did was just smile. Because Nathaniel, when he was born, he was really light-skinned.
He was light-skinned?
Oh, he was very light-skinned.
Who was this?
Leroy's son.
Your son, yeah.
And he was light-skinned, she just smiled.
Yeah. She loved
and light skin. Straight hair.
Yeah.
And light skin.
Because you had 3 things in Louisiana. Three colors in Louisiana. I mean, back there. Amongst them Frenchmen and Creole, black people and the Africans and all. There was, if you was real light, good. You was very good. That was really beautiful if you was light, real light. Now if you was brown, which they called me brown, but I was much lighter than I am now, I could stick around and, if maybe somebody may notice me. But baby, if you was darker than I was, they say get back. Because you black. And they're not going to deal with you. And that's the way they was there. Because that's what you used to be saying. If you were yellow, high yellow and white, you're in. But if you're light and brown, stick around. But if you black, get back.
They used that in a song, I remember that.
Yeah, that's the way it went. Yeah. That's the way it went.
And our daddy always hung around Aunt Ida. And he'd take us by, I don't know if she didn't care for us, your kids, you don't be paying no attention. But he went around his sisters. And every Sunday we was going to Aunt Ida's.
I remember Aunt Ida.
We was going to Aunt Ida's. We was coming up.
But see, my mom, she tried to keep the family together. Because, like I say, she used to get on, catch buses and all that kind of stuff to go to see about her brothers if they get, because they was always getting shot or cut or something was happening to them. Because they weren't good looking men. And somebody was always, and then they tried to poison them and all that kind of stuff. It was terrible. It really was. But that was life at that time. So
there was always somebody to be concerned about the family staying together.
Yeah, right.
And that was Aunt Ida.
Aunt Ida. So how do you feel about the family picnic that we're having? You think that?
Oh, I think it's beautiful. It's a good thing. You should have had them a long time ago.
I know.
And you know
Really?
what? You married into the family, and you're the one getting it together.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's because when we come, the gatherings that I see with the family has to do with funerals.
You have to do with what?
Funerals.
That's our time the family get come together.
And then when Mama died, which is Leroy's mom, when she died, you stood up at the funeral
Sure
and you
did.
said it was really sad how you all come together for a funeral,
Yeah.
but you won't come together for anything else.
Yeah, remember that.
And then you stated that you were the oldest living relative,
That's right.
and they needed to come around and visit you and see you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I said, if
And I
you want to
remember
know
that.
anything about the family, you come and see me.
Right.
And I remember that, and then we had
But,
another funeral.
Nobody ever come.
So I felt that it's time to try to get this family back together.
Yeah.
But you know, like you say, it's good, but everybody's scattered, you know, so far, so far
Yeah.
away. But you know, like we coming to the picnic, my daughter and my grandkids,
Yeah.
and gonna bring Chris, you know,
Good, good,
Yeah.
and
good.
well, we looking forward to seeing.
Oh,
If we can try to plant a seed and have a place where at least once a year everybody can mingle and mix, I'm hoping that that sticks.
Yeah.
You know, into everybody's heads that they could get together at least once a year.
Yeah.
At least once a year, make it a goal. I'm trying to do the same thing with my family also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
You gonna make a tape, when you get it all together.
Okay, was there anything else on there you supposed?
No, that's all I needed. Whatever you wanted to tell us was important to me.